All right. So I was asked to walk through the hardware I use in what has been called a bougie setup. Um, it's my desktop that I use, everything from like games. I use it for work, I use it for making videos, and I teach soldering and board repair. So, excuse me. The easiest way to do this is just going to walk through it in Newegg. I've added all of the equipment, all the hardware I have to a cart, so ignore the prices. These are COVID prices; they're not real. But let's go through it. So the first case when I built this computer was an NZXT H510i, I think it was called. That got traded off, and I bought a Corsair 680X. I like that case; easy to build in, looks good. It's basically the was it the Lian Li, the O11, minus the fact that everybody has the O11, so I didn't do that. CPU, I'm using a Ryzen 3700X. I got pretty lucky because I've pushed my base clock and my boost clock. I boost around 4.6, 4.7. Um, but not bad. 8 cores, 16 threads, good multi-purpose CPU. I like it. I don't remember what I paid for it when I bought it. They were relatively new. That's sitting in there it is, the Asus Prime X570 Pro AM4 socket, of course. It's got two NVMe. One of them is tied directly to the CPU. The other one's through the chipset, which is pretty standard. The one's got a heatsink on it. From what I understand, they don't do a whole lot, but whatever. Full disclosure, main reason I got this motherboard, aside from it being X570, because I wanted the Gen 4, was because the accents were in white and I was doing a black and white build. I'm the last person to make an aesthetic decision, but there it is. Let's see. For cooling, I'm using the Corsair H100i because that's what was available. If I could do it again, I'd go with I think it's the 150, which is the 3 by 120 millimeter fan radiator. But eventually I'm going to switch it out and do complete custom open loop. But that's what I've got on it right now. For memory, I have 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB in white. It's the 3600 megahertz. I wanted the faster memory, and I wanted the 32. I may end up upgrading to 64 hard drives. I've got hard drives, SSDs. I've got two of the 970 Evo Pluses for 2 terabyte. I've also got an SSD. It's a 4 terabyte. Although I don't need that much storage because I have a Synology DS1821 Plus NAS at the desk, which that's completely filled out with 8 terabyte drives. So that gives me another 40 terabytes effectively with the Synology Hybrid RAID. What else? I added a USB 4X card. See, I've got 3 Lightloop 120s on the case. I've purchased 4 of the 140s. I'm currently using 3 of them. And then for monitors, I've got 3. My center monitor is the Dell S3220 DGF. This is a 1440p, 165 hertz panel with HDR, with FreeSync. It's G-Sync compatible. I like it. It's a curved monitor, but it's not quite enough real estate for me, so I've added to that on either side an HP VH240A 24-inch IPS panel. Both of those are turned vertical. I've got a cheapo Insignia soundbar under my center monitor for speakers. And then for peripherals, I'm using the Razer Huntsman Elite. I like that keyboard a lot. I'm using the Mamba Elite. It's a mouse. I don't know what the big deal is about it, but it matches, so I went with it. And then the first, the first real bougie RGB decision was this guy. This is complete nonsense. It's a 3 foot long mouse pad. I like it. I'm actually debating switching to Corsair. I just have to find a keyboard that feels like the Razer because I really like how it feels. For cameras, the camera you're seeing me through right now is a Razer Kio I bought off of like Facebook, Craigslist, or something right at like pandemic when prices were about to get stupid. I got lucky. I grabbed that before it went expensive. Graphics card. I'm using a Gigabyte RTX 2070 Super, the Gaming OC 3X 3-fan card, 8 gigs. Currently selling for $1288. I've seen this thing as high as $1,500. It's nonsense. I didn't pay half of that when I bought it, but that's what I'm using. A good card. It's solid. I have no complaints. When I'm playing Destiny 2 in 1440 with HDR on, and I'm averaging 130 frames, so no complaints out of that card. I kind of want a 3080 Ti. When the prices come down, I'm probably going to swap that out, which will probably happen, and then I will trade mine down. But the other camera I'm using, if I switch back, what you're seeing me on now is a Canon T6 with the basic lens. It's the EFS 18 to 55 millimeter lens. I bought it secondhand also, I think through like Facebook or something, and then I was using the what do they call it? The Canon web utility when it was in beta. Now it's in final release. It's solid. It's a good camera. I wish it had a little wider field of view, but it serves my purposes. So that's my setup. I'm using a desk I bought off Amazon. Other laptop. This one's mainly the interface for the Synology and the virtual machines I'm running. What else? Software. The transition I'm using here, I have a Stream Deck XL. The Elgato, I like it a lot. I like it more than the regular one. That's how I'm transitioning. You don't see me fidgeting with my mouse. It's just one button to switch. But I'm currently streaming to Microsoft Teams and to Twitch while I'm recording it internally, just kind of as a stress test. I want to see what this thing can do and how much work I can put on it without it dropping frames, because right now I have not dropped a single frame, and I'm getting doing 1080-60. I'm at like 6172 kilobytes per second. I've got a decent internet connection. That helps. What else? We talked about the keyboard, peripherals, software. I'm using OBS right now. I'm not using Streamlabs, just straight OBS. I built these scenes. I'd pull it into the main view, but then you get that weird, we'll do it. Why not? You get that weird thing. Oh, now I messed everything up. There it goes. Switch back. This microphone is an Audio Technica ATR 2500 USB with probably the cheapest boom arm I could find. The arm is not great. The mic is pretty good. I'm managing all my audio through, here I can show you this, through a program called Voicemeeter. And what this does is it lets me route all of my audio input devices independently. So like right here is my microphone. Cable A. Cables is a plugin or an add-on software for Voicemeeter that gives you multiple virtual audio devices. So my system audio for the computer goes through cable A, Discord goes through cable B. I've got music playing on C, and then cable D is a soundboard, which lets me throw little things. What else? But I mean, that's basically my setup. If I were to, let me put this back. It's fine. We'll do that. Go ahead and launch this just to show you. I'm not gonna play because I'm not good at games. When I was talking to a friend, I go, what I lack in gaming skills and personality, I make up for in free time, disposable income, and tech skills. Part of the setup, a glass of, don't worry about what's in my cup. So yeah, I'm really just doing this to see if I can drop any frames. One of the benefits of the, I think it's the 1650 Ti or the 2000, 3000 NVIDIA graphics cards, you get the NVENC encoder, which allows OBS to offload all of the encoding work to the graphics card on a dedicated chip. So encoding is not taking up GPU power that could be used for a game. So I'm not dropping frames. I'm not sacrificing quality of video while I'm encoding. It works completely independent. Just let this load up. I'll probably jump into the EDZ just to see what it'll do. And again, I am not great at video games. I'll just jump into it. What am I getting right now? Let's see, once we get into the game, what my frames look like. Seeing something weird where the numbers I'm seeing in OBS are not matching what I'm seeing on the screen. Right now it's 146, 155. See what happens when we land. All right, we're in. How are we looking? Still 100 frames. I'm not gonna stay here too long. This is just to check. Let's see how the graphics card does. What do I do? Oh, something I found recently. This is a recent addition. The way my camera looks like it's leaning in, there's a plugin for OBS. I think it's called StreamFX. It gives you 3D edit, and you can tilt and give kind of a 3D look to any what are they called? Not scene, source in OBS. So what I did is I just built a rectangle in Photoshop, put a bevel and an emboss to make it look more like a three-dimensional frame, wrapped it around, masked out the camera to that rectangle, grouped them together in OBS, and then applied the effect to the group, and that gave me that little, it almost looks like a billboard kind of thing. But, alright, let me hop out of here. But, that's my basic setup. That's what I'm using. OBS, boom. That's it. That's my quote-unquote bougie setup. The other things I've added is some Philips Hue play lights. I've got 2 of them behind my monitors projecting onto the wall. I've got 2 of the Iris desk lamps, and then a whole bunch of Nanoleaf on the wall. Um, it started out with my cousins and a friend were playing games on Xbox regularly, and then one of us like, "What do you think about switching to PC?" And we talked about it. Then finally, Alex started buying parts, and I'm like, "Okay, we're doing this." So he bought a bunch of parts. I helped him do the research. We built his computer. I built my computer. My cousin built a computer. I've got another cousin who's building a computer. And then as we've upgraded parts, we've instituted what we're calling Boxing Day, which is when I replaced, I don't even remember. No, Alex did it first. He replaced his motherboard. Yeah. And Amberly snagged his motherboard. And then I replaced something else, and I'll just throw it in a group chat. Hey, who wants this? And whoever grabs it first. Like, that's how Alex got my case, and then Jason got Alex's case, and we've shuffled them that way. I think next, I almost want to be like a streamer and put something up for offer to see if one of them will see this. I'm probably going to replace my keyboard, mouse, and mouse mat and go to Corsair. But I'm not ready yet, so I'm not going to put that up there, and nobody's watching this, so who cares? But that's my setup. That's my desk. It's nothing too crazy. I'm not running custom loop water cooling with dual 3080s yet. I've no desire to run dual graphics card. I do want a 3080 and I do want to water cool it, but that'll be down the road. That's my setup. Vaughn, figure out your stream, fix your audio, and clean your room.